As I'm rounding up my stay in Nigeria, I thought I would share 3 things that I love about Nigeria. Number 1 is the people. The people are so warm, so friendly, so welcoming, and so vibrant. Number 1 is the people. Number 2 is the weather. I love never having to put on a sweater. I lived here for so many years, and it's quite different having to get all bundled up back in Canada. So I love the weather here in Nigeria. And number 3 is the entrepreneurship. I love that people are open to business. People are looking for ways to add value to the world around them and create something entrepreneurial for themselves. So those are the 3 things that I love about Nigeria. Let me know what you love about wherever you live below. Wishing you an awesome, awesome day.
Nigeria is a strange spot because I've never been, but when you look at the numbers of successful immigrants, like businessmen and people that have come over from Nigeria and how industrious they are, and then you look at how many successful Nigerian scammers there are, like, it's a wise, very clever place.
You got the email from the prince too, huh?
I didn't get it. Well, I'm sure I
Okay.
have. But the one I was thinking about was Jamie was telling me a story yesterday about a guy who, what did he sell? He sold a non-existent bank.
Airport.
To
a
airport.
bank.
Yeah.
To a bank.
That's right. He sold a non-existent airport to a bank. There's been several stories over the last couple of weeks about Nigerian scammers making big scores.
Yeah, there's one that I think closed down a Brazilian bank. That they took so much of their money that the bank had to shut down.
What is it about Nigeria? Why are they so good at that?
A lot of smart and enterprising people, and I think if that's channeled in the right way, then that's a very good thing. But
Well,
I think some people
obviously, the resources are very limited, so they're deciding to just go dark and scam people. But as a person who hasn't been a victim of this, it's quite amusing.
Yeah, I mean, if you see some of the stuff that can get pulled off, it's quite impressive. You
Pull
know?
that story.
It is very much like, man.
It's actually 330 equivalent to American dollars, 330 million.
Jeez.
It happened in the 90s, though. I guess the story's just now going around for whatever reason, but it happened in the 90s, which is what this says.
A con man once sold an airport that didn't exist for $330 million. Now, if you stop and think about that, $330 million in the 90s is probably like $600 million today or something. Fucking bananas.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They are. But
Nigerians are in New York, in Miami,
Yeah.
in Washington, in California, all over California, because Nigerians have this work ethic, right? They will do whatever it takes to get the job done or to get the job.
Yeah. But and interestingly enough,
So
they're the
the-
guys who've actually broken the ceiling for me in terms of earnings as well.
Yeah.
Because I was staying in that space with, the American Americans and the African Americans, and it was, you can feel, the block.
The average Nigerian American earns more than the average white American, average, but just less than the average Asian American.
So we must hack the agents now.
Well, no, I mean, it's just amazing to me that this undermines that whole narrative that, like, it's got something to do with your race. Like, a lot of people have been conditioned from a young age by people who are on the grift. These politicians, these white people, frankly, who are talking all the time about, like, DEI and all that shit.
Yeah.
They're on the take. Yeah. And then you have parents who are telling their kids, like, you're not going to succeed in this world because you're black. They talk about that conversation.
Yeah,
you have to have that conversation with your kid.
Yeah.
Nigerians don't. They come in, they're like, fuck you.
We are going to
You're going to get in, you're going to be in charge, you're going to take control, and you're going to make the most of this thing. And then they go in and they just win. I love it.
You remind me of this old Nigerian dude who was saying, any place you go to in the world that doesn't have Nigerians is uninhabitable.
I'm British, living in Nigeria, and of course, I'd rather call my Nigerian tailor to get something made bespoke in local Ankara fabric than buy something from the high street.
I'm British, living in Nigeria. Of course, pounded yam and egusi has become one of my favorite dishes, but easy on the pepper.
I'm British, living in Nigeria. Of course I spend my December in Lagos.
I'm British in Nigeria. Of course, I'd rather have Chapman over tea.
Looks like we're stuck together. I'm British living in Nigeria. I watch Nollywood movies. Of course, I now know what a Yoruba demon is.
I'm British living in Nigeria, and of course my favourite sport is football.
We are British living in Nigeria. Of course, we no go agree for anybody.
Nigerians are the best people in the world. Let me tell you why. You have the ones that are always smiling, always dancing, singing, laughing, and each one of them have a story to tell. There's this new podcast called Pep Talk Nigeria, basically about people from Nigeria, anywhere around the world. They come on the podcast, whether you're at the top of the hierarchy or all the way down there, you share your story. I beg you people should not come for my dry lips. As you can see, the weather is very... So the first episode is going to be with a Danfo driver. He is going to come on the podcast and tell his story about conductor issues, LASMA, road safety, police checkpoints, passenger wahala, all of these things together. And he also has a dream to become an artist. So he would come on the podcast, share his story, share his experience being a Danfo driver, and also sing on the show. And you guys be the judge if he can make it in the music industry or not. Simple. So stay tuned for the podcast.
Having a Nigerian husband is not for the weak-hearted. My husband makes me cry often and a lot because of the amount of chili that man put in the food. Too much.
Nigeria is compared to New York City. If I had to compare some
That's
place.
definitely scammers.
There's scammers everywhere,
I mean, New York got scammers too. Come on, I'm just being honest.
Yo,
you ain't get them emails?
That Nigerian prison's probably in
Come
New
on.
York.
I ain't the only one that got them emails, goddammit. That's why y'all got them emails. I'm a Nigerian prince. What you gonna do? Send me 1,500. I got you.
Something, yo. Explain something.
That was Mr. Lee in his room. Emailing
That was
you.
Dominicans doing it? I'm sorry.
This could be debatable, but the Nigerians are the most smartest people on the planet.
Right.
Yeah, I believe it.
I promise you. There's nobody more smarter than a Nigerian.
Respect that.
Now, of course, there's a few bad apples that came out. You know what I'm saying?
They smart too, though.
No, they extremely smart.
Yeah, they smart.
They just put their intelligence all in the wrong place.
Right.
If they would have geared that towards something more, positive and productive,
right.
Because the ones that did, there's more billionaires being made in Nigeria than anywhere in the world on an annual basis.
Friends took that email.
They think, the prince is hollering.
They thought they was giving back.
But listen, to the credit of them, though, you only get caught if you get greedy.
Right.
They don't ask you to do anything. They just present it to you, and then your greed get caught in that
You
web.
like, because I'm giving 1,500,
Right.
give me 50,000.
Greedy and dumb.
They're not putting a gun in your ass.
Yeah.
They just giving you a proposition.
They exploiting your
and then
ignorance.
your ass with your greedy ass took it. And what's crazier is that after you get got, there's nobody else to blame but yourself, because you know better.
I'm gonna be honest.
Anything that's too good to be true,
You know who
is
got me?
always too good to be true.
What's the nigga that they was hunting him down and they made you buy the shirts?
Hush Puppy?
Coney, right?
Coney. I donated.
But that wasn't Africans that was doing that.
I don't know who it was. But
It's like someone in
thank you.
San Francisco.
Listen, I still don't got my shirt.
That's why I
still don't
almost
got my
spit that
Coney
juice
shirt.
out. And I was like, wait, is he comparing that to Africans? That wasn't the African that did that.
No. It was Coney. He was doing some bad shit.
Yeah, and it wasn't them.
And he was like, yo, donate to him and we're going to get it. I was like, word. It's like, I got caught. And all I wanted was
like a white dude in San Francisco doing that.
All I wanted was my T-shirt. They didn't give me my T-shirt.
man.
And that's when I started complaining. I said, something ain't right about this.
You was waiting for the T-shirt?
That is too funny, boy.
Yo, so you say Nigeria is the first.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're going there for. Like, every place has its destination and has a specialty for what you want to do.
It's a huge continent. Huge.
It's
North Africa.
Listen,
South
let me explain how big Africa is, right? You see how big United States is, right? You could take 5 United States and fit it inside Africa. 5 are U.S.'s.
That's fire.
I mean, all 52, 3, 4 states, whatever.
That's
you can
wild.
take them all, put them inside Africa 5 times. That's how big the continent is.
Wow.
That's how big it is. So it's a matter of like, and it's any and everything you want to do. Like you got East Africa, you got South Africa, you got West Africa, North Africa. Everywhere you go, there's destinations for what it is you want. So it depends on what you're going there for.